What's up, outliers? Today we're going to talk about the weather, how nice the week was, the Fed. I'm obviously kidding. We're going to talk about Gamestop today because things have gotten a little spicy. And I love this. I literally love this. Every time that it looks like GameStop starts slowing down, being a little bit sleepy, all of a sudden you get a day like this. And as you can tell, it just makes me smile. And we have to give a shout out to my boy Jim Bowles from the Discord, who obviously dug this piece of gold up from one of the Reddits. And I mean, it's beautiful, isn't it? It's exactly what's going on here. So this move was really interesting. And there are a few reasons why. Now, let's start with what's been going on. Very quiet across the board, right? Volume, quiet, running below averages, overall quiet. Then today, we run into 61.8 million volume, where the 5-day average is 18 mil and the 20-day average is 13 mil. So we got active. We got real active. And there's a lot of conjecture as to what's going on because there's the at the market going on. And we don't know if where we're at in that process. We haven't really seen any information. So that could be part of what we're seeing here. But let's start with the dark pools. And then we will slowly move in, because I also want to show you the options side of things. Because again, there's an interesting series of events going on. So let's grab GameStop, and then we're just going to look at today. And then let's sort this not by time, but let's sort it by premium. And you can see that we have some absolutely massive positions coming on today. There was 4.6 million shares traded to kind of kick us off in the morning. The overall premium there was $92 million. And then we go 19 mil, 16 mil. And you can see a lot of this is throughout the day, but notice a lot of this starts kicking on in the afternoon. This is Pacific time, by the way. That's why you'll see like 1301, 1358. This is pretty much market close, which is very common, to be clear. Like, you'll very often see bigger orders towards market close. It's for liquidity reasons. This is very normal. But if we take a look at the kind of trades that came through, we see a lot of average price trades, which is really interesting, because notice what the word picture here. It says a trade where the price reported is based upon an average of the prices for the transactions in a security during all or any portion of the trading day. And it's because these are bigger positions. Like, you're not going to put on, you know, a $4.6 million position and just have it magically slide through. It's just not how it works. So there were a ton of really big trades going on. Now, a quick reminder, there's a difference between orders that go through dark pools versus lit exchanges versus orders that are internalized. Orders that go through dark pools still hit the consolidated tape. They're not internalized inherently. Now, you can have internalized dark pool orders, but then you wouldn't see them because they're internalized. They don't hit any tape. So these will still hit the consolidated tape, which is exactly why we see the volume going absolutely bonkers as we look at this through like a time scale. Because again, this is going to track the cumulative volume as we move around, right? So you see 34 million, 56, like it starts scaling meaningfully right into the end of the day. So fascinating price movement here. Now, this is what I'm also very excited about is look at this. We have some pretty big trades coming on, and they're not out into perpetuity, right? This is looking at 18 Oct 2024. And this is almost $500,000 in options. Somebody came in, they grabbed the 21 calls, they grabbed 2,000 of them, and that is a not insignificant size trade. And then we can see essentially an hour directly before that, there was also something for the same expiration, the 18 Ox, And we can see that it's a $250,000 trade. So we're starting to see some bigger trades in the front expirations. All three of these largest trades, options trades on the day, are all in the front expiration, 18 oct. So now let's take a look at the options chain then and see what's going on here. First, let's take a look at volume. And you can see that big volume day. So we have 516,000 calls traded against 107,000 puts. And the majority of the calls were at the offer or above, meaning we've bought them. And then the majority of the puts were actually at the bid or below, meaning we've sold them. Very bullish configuration across the board. Now, when I look across the volume, I can see a lot of concentration in 20 SEP, 27 SEP. This makes a ton of sense. I'm sure there are tons of people who are very, very happy that they were able to get a few dollars out of their calls that were expiring today otherwise, and essentially save some of their position, right? Because that's essentially, most of these were going to expire worthless until we see a 12% up move on the day. Then a lot of these calls got pushed a little bit in the money. It's not a matter of whether or not they're in the money. It's just if, underlying goes up, which it did. So it saves them. So love to see that rather than pouring one out for all the homies we lost, which we still lost some, not a ton, but we get to pour one out for the homies that made a few bucks today, which is even better in my opinion. Then if we take a look at open interest, this is getting even more interesting. So the put OI is not changing that much. It's still low threes, 313 right now. Call OI is changing a lot. And notice how big this 18 oct expiration is becoming. Take a look at all these yellow boxes cropping up. Those are big positions being built out in this expiration. So we have some interesting things to look at here, because notice vol has popped massively. These were all below 80 just yesterday and the day before. Now they're creeping up over 100 on overall vol. And then we can see that the options chain is starting to get built out. So right at the monies, we have 5,800 here, 4,000. Then we have 19,000 OI here with another 9,600 traded today. We have 19,000 out here at the 30s. So this starts to look really interesting. Now, as far as where we go from here, that's a great question, because it's a little bit early to tell, but this obviously is the exact kind of stuff that I look for. So this popped up on a few of my scans, primarily on a volume perspective. With the volume exceeding the 5-day and 20-day average intraday, it tells me that when that hits intraday, that we're going to run past it, right? Because when we're looking at the 5-day average, the 20-day average, that's looking back over the entire trading day for 5 days or 20 days. So if you exceed the entire day average before the day's out, it's fairly telling that volume is picking up meaningfully. So now we get to see, does this volume continue forward? But what I can tell you is that there was tons of shares traded today. And I can also tell you that the options market is also starting to get involved, which again, I'm very eager to see how this goes. So we'll keep an eye on it as usual. We do have the GME live stream tomorrow at 5 p.m. Pacific time. We're going to continue going through all of Roaring Kitty's old trades. So this will be part 3. I don't know how many parts there are going to be. I actually thought we might get through it all in one video. Obviously, that was completely wrong. But I'm happy it's wrong, because I'm really enjoying looking at this stuff in detail with you all. So tomorrow at 5 Pacific time, we're going to be going through, and we're getting to the point where he's starting to unwind some of his trades. And there's some really interesting behaviors that I'm picking up from him. One being that he's clearly not unwinding positions based on a profit target. It's actually right now looks like it's based on time in the trade, good old TIT. So I want to see if that holds up. And I'm most eager to see if I can detect a change in his approach, because I have a pretty good fingerprint for the way that he's using options right now. And I'm so eager to see if there's a material shift in what he does. Because right now, I think we're in like early 2021-ish. So we're getting to where things start getting very interesting. So that's the game plan for tomorrow. And then later today, we have outlier options trading for beginners. You can come hang out. We're going to go over 3 common beginner mistakes and how to avoid them, and then general open Q&A. So We're out here. We're active. We're busy. As always, if there's anything you need or want me to take a look at, let me know. You can shoot me an email, drop it in a comment, whatever makes you happy. Makes me happy. Be an outlier. See y'all later.